Sound check. Test mic. Hello and welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. So we're gonna continue on day 3 on our PTR, and I'm just wondering if I'm gonna check if the neat iron is there, and I'm still want to level maybe up to level up to pit 80 and see how this build goes. And before I continue playing in the PTR, I just want to there is an update with Diablo regarding their give me a second, I want to check whether just give me a second. I'm just checking whether do I need to zoom in. Okay. Did it change? Not yet. Okay. Here we go. Okay, give me a second. Let me check if everything is captured. Only up to here is being, if I will go this way, then this one, from here up to here. Okay, because I'm just gonna make a quick recording. Let me get my timer and make sure that I'm not going over 3 minutes. So, Diablo 4 gave us a teaser. They have a clip on their channel wherein they're giving us a tease on what's on the upcoming anniversary event. I think it's not an event but more on a discussion on what's going to happen on the next chapter of Diablo 4, and basically this is now their 30th anniversary. So on February 11, there will be an announcement, and I believe they have announced it on their clip that they're gonna explain what are the new mechanics, and these are the one that they have showcased is the talisman, the Horadric cube, and we have a new skill tree. Right, that they have showcased us that there will be now more skill interactions and more skill nodes that they're saying that it will make the build more complex, and hopefully we will get better nodes on our skill tree, and especially the upcoming new mechanic on the second expansion of Diablo 4, which is the Lord of Hatred. And they're gonna have a sit-down sanctuary discussion on February 11th, 2 p.m. I believe that is Wednesday next week. So I guess we will get this new update. So hopefully we can get this whatever that they're gonna surprise us. So hopefully we can get some better updates soon. So there will be like a badge, February 11 to 25, subscribe to any eligible streamer. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna expect that, and I think it's gonna be also, I don't know whether this February 11th is the like a campfire chat for the introduction of the introduction of the upcoming season and the Lord of Hatred, if I'm not mistaken. They usually held that kind of developer update a few days before the season will launch. So I think this is more on the anniversary spotlight. But so yeah, we will have a sanctuary sit down on February. So this is a sanctuary, they call it sanctuary sit down, not a developer update. So I guess they're gonna give us some teasers on those new mechanics. So let's see, we'll see. All right, let's go back with our Bloodlands. I think I'm still halfway to Pit 80. I think 35 levels more to go. Okay, do you have the materials now? Nothing. Yeah, nothing. Crafting materials, yeah. Probably I'm gonna get some tributes or sigils, perhaps. Seasonal, blooded, not. I wanna see grant seasonal activity keys. We're gonna try maybe a boss there and then Infernal Hordes. A nightmare dungeon. So one nightmare dungeon. And then Yeah, we'll see once we well, we have already max level of the glyph, right? Did we kill all of this? Oh, speaking again, speaking of the monsters, the thing is our skill streak. Well, see? It's gone. Like I feel like it's not that fun that you will not be able to bring your kill streak to the boss. At least you can at least bring the kill streak to the boss. That would be nice. Well, how many monsters are here? I feel like the pit won't open until you are 500 kill. Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! I'm trying to hit the boss from afar to see if we can hit it before at least the it was so fast. Well, we tried our best. Oh, what if the kind of boss that when you enter, there's still a bit of animation that a good example is Den Mother. What's that? What's her name? All I remember is the hag, the fat, the big lady that spawns under the ground, and then there will be like some kind of a pool. So before she appears, so there will be like a few seconds before she will spawn. So still, your kill streak is out. Since my glyph is already max out already, probably, though I'm still hoping that I can still I want to see the damage output on Pit 80, though we can still see this in action in the bosses, the lair bosses, even though we don't have the mats. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. And then let's do the Inferno Hordes, then the Sigils, to experience the Relentless Butcher. And with the new buffs, I want to see also whether does the Blood Lances at least efficient enough. If it can do like minimum 1066 on the Inferno Hordes, for me that's fine. At least you'll be able to summon Bartuk. At the same time, you can open the greater spoils. But of course, you want more than that, because you want to open the material chest as well. Did I miss some elites on the previous floor? I think I did. Well, who did I miss? Oh, you missed some trash mobs. Oh, this is the one I'm talking about. Drowned Sea Hag. See? So how can you bring back... How can you continue your... How can you continue your... that kill streak if... If you lost it, basically. Because it's not being on hold while you are transitioning from when you are inside the portal. Give me a second. Be right back. All right.
It is done.
I don't need the Forgotten Soul. Okay, let's try this one. I don't have any bloodied items except this one for more experience. And this one is resource cost reduction per kill streak. This one, every 25 kills gain berserking for 5 seconds. What is berserking again? I think this is berserking is different. What I have read is ferocity. Does it give you like a little bit of damage? And that is the for the barbarian. Hey. Where is the dungeon that I have open? We lost the marker again? So that is an Uribar. Well, let's see if we are strong enough with Uribar with our non-good. Supposedly it's the double damage from Bloodlands. See, we're only 56%. $17,1200 critical strike damage. Or is it Butcher is the one? Am I getting one shot of that lightning? Or is it because of that armor? Well, the thing is, how about I roll that critical strike chance with armor? This one doesn't have an armor. I can remove the essence per second with armor instead. Let's go to our training grounds. It's better on this area because it activates all of the buffs instead of when you are in town, so that we know how much do we still need to add. We have already a percentage increase in life there. Intelligence. So if we have attack speed, cooldown, attack speed, life, and intelligence. Let's add more armor here. Oh, do you have an armor though? You have, okay. It didn't move. So here, so I guess if we add this together along with our incense, we are now at 14. We're still short. Mercenary. Unlike with the current season, we have this additional 20% armor. The thing is, if we're going to use a give me a second, let me just go back very quickly on the bloodlines that I have created. Yeah, I use a this is already fully masterwork. On our skill tree, we have this already. But if I'm going to use a spike armor, the thing is with the spike armor, if we're going to use the air perdition, then Again, we're going to lose the soul rift duration. Now it's 8:21. 8 seconds is very short. And if we're going to remove the hardened bones, then we're gonna be much more weaker. This is now 14. It needs to be at least 17k. Increased 5% armor. This is bad. If I'm going to roll, can we roll an armor? Do we have an occultist here? What if I roll an armor just for the meantime? I just want to see if armor is the problem why we are getting one shot on that fight. Cooldown, maximum resource. So, oh, no armor here. So never mind. We have already 3 armors here. Yeah, I think because we have a 20% in season 11, probably that's the reason why. Is it still active? Uribar? Not anymore. Without the relentless butcher, let's see. What I just want to see is the damage. But I have already observed like we're not dealing that much damage. Yeah, it seems like that is the one dealing the damage. Wait a second. Why we're not getting essence from this enemies right here? What are these enemies are? Well, I can take advantage of. Can we kill them? Hurry up. The essence management. It's still weak on single target.
You wanderer.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
What you are.
Again, we are attacking so fast again that well, we don't have the attack speed here. Only in these two. Boss. Oh, that lucky hit, where is Loomrune? I'm just thinking maybe is it who's this? I think this is Duriel Harbinger. Who's this? This is Ancient Seat. This is Lord Zir. It's just I don't see the full potential because we're only doing around 21 35, so that's 56% compared to what we have. I think I have around 90 plus chance to deal double damage. I feel like I casted the Soul Rift too early. Well, we can take advantage of the when he summoned the ads. I'm thinking, do we need to bring increased in Bloodseeker? I have my own Bloodseeker too. Wow. Woo. Wow. My damage is so poor. See, look at the damage output on one of the Bloodseeker. We see a big damage on the Bloodseeker because it is the one that becomes a primary target. So the thing is, wow. As I suspected, it's really weak on single target still. Yeah, it really struggles on single target. Probably I'm gonna try a nightmare dungeon. So that's how. Why? So basically, the relentless butcher is keep on coming after you. The thing is, yeah, he keeps on spawning. So because that is a boss dungeon, does he drops his items when he get killed? Yeah, it's fine. I don't know if the monsters are too strong here or the the skill is really weak. Usually when there's a lot of monsters, we can hit around 100 billion if there's a lot of monsters. There's the gloves. Ah, what the heck? It drops a regular unique item. What the heck? Enough! Gucci! Gucci is relentless. No drop? Our poor bloodlands. Oh, we need to kill all of these enemies, otherwise we will not be able to pick up the the stone. Or will he drop his items after the run based on the number of times that you killed him on a particular event, whether summoning the boss or doing a nightmare dungeon? Anyway, on Saturday, I'm gonna go back playing again on Season 11, and I'll be playing a new build. And starting on February 16, I'll be away. So I will not be able to stream from February 16 up to 27. So 20 is 27. 16 is Monday. 23, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 27 is Friday. 28, 29. I think we don't have February 29. So that is March 1. So I'll be back streaming on March 1. Can we do one-on-one? See, now we can really see the damage output without the number of monsters on the field. And that is because of the Bloodseeker that it scales the damage. And again, that 3.5 billion that we are seeing, so we are only doing like 3.5, 2.5, 1 point something. I don't know whether that is a non-double damage output because we don't have a very good masterwork. But to see what I did on my Bloodlands, I wasn't able to do some too many like Nightmare Dungeons or Inferno Hordes or even a lair boss kill. I only did the pit, so I'm just wondering if maybe I can try it out on season 11 based on the build that I have created, and to see if how much is the damage output on season 11, so that considering that we have some increase on our Paragon board, then I would say we will kind of gauge how much we are really dealing with, because it's so hard on this PTR unless I will farm the Neat Iron, and because the Neat Iron and the what's that? The Neat Iron and what's the other one? Scroll of Restoration. For some reason, it's not free. We cannot get it from Ambrak. So, and I don't want to farm just to grab those items. It's like I'm gonna consume my time just to farm those events. As much as I want to switch already to season 11, it's just I don't have enough space on my PC. So in order for me to play the PTR, I have to uninstall the main Diablo game so that I can install this PTR server. So anyway, and as much as I want to switch with the other I need to get again the items. I don't have even the Neat Iron again just to switch with, like for example, how about the mages? I think I have everything here. $238 points spent. 202 Paragon. What's this? Bloodlines. I need the I need the Hulk monstrosity and the cult leader. And then I have to upgrade again. And we're missing around 19%. Basically the chance for Bloodlines to deal double damage. We need it. We need that here to be capstoned. But to see that damage output though, I'm expecting like after all of the damage increase, we have the Great Feast here, we have the Grasping Veins here, we have the Ratmus Chosen, we have the Sacrificial. Bloodseeker, again, supposedly we can drop the Ratmus Chosen for the, what's that? Ring of the Starless Skies. Again, this is PTR, right?
I hope whatever's here puts up a good
Even the behavior of, sorry, not behavior, the health of the enemies inside on the in the Hell Tides. It's way different when I check the gameplay that I have when I started the season 11. It's way different. Yeah, the change on the overpower really affected most of the builds. Like even though we have this increase in damage, it's not enough. It's like this. It's like this. Let me kill this silly group of enemies here. Okay. What is our overpower damage now? This is almost 16,000, and we still have the multiplier on the Indira's memory, especially that Tides of Blood. It's going to start adding when we hit an enemy and when we overpower to that enemy, and if we are healthy, then it scales the damage, because the requirements of the Tides of Blood is when you are healthy. The overpower damage here at 70,000 increase in damage looks huge, but if you take a look on how many times, how many hits, how many casts before the Bloodlands, including the Blood Surge, will do the overpower? 6 times. Okay? 6 times. If we divide that 6 to here, how many is our increase in damage with regards to the overpower per hit? Let's round it up to 1800. I remember I have around 19 or 20k overpower damage on my season 11 character. So let's say let's round this up to 17 divided by 6. How much is that? 3,000, around say 2,900. Your damage increase is only 3,000 damage per hit. Okay. The reason why Overpower was so powerful on previous season, because this multiplier, not just it increases your overpower damage, it scales even further because based on the amount of life that you have and the fortification that you have. So it calculates the amount of life that you have, it converts it into an additional damage, and then that additional damage will be scaled by the overpower also. So all in all, your physical damage, your health, the amount of health that you have, that's why you're dealing so much damage. And basically that's the idea behind overpowering, is based on life that you have, making your build more tankier, to turn it into an offensive, offensive output. Like I'm increasing my defense. And I think that's the reason why Paladin is also powerful on Season 11, because it has a very big multiplier, I believe on one of its Paragon board or key passive, that increases its damage based on the amount of defenses that it have. And as far as the multiplier damage of the blood skills, the blood skills are only restricted on overpowering. It doesn't have big damage scalers like, for example, the Bone Spirit. The more essence that you have, the more damage it will deal. With the blood skills don't have like that now. It heavily relies before on the overpower damage based on the amount of life that you have. I think that is how the damage scaling should work. Like a certain skill requires a certain mechanic, or it requires a certain thing that by doing this it will increase your damage. Same thing with the build that I have created in last epoch, the Demolition Mages, wherein based on the new update, there is this node that if you increase the necrotic resistance, the more necrotic resistance that you have, the more, when you overcap that necrotic resistance, those necrotic resistance that are overcap is going to be converted into a necrotic penetration, that is a big amount of damage to the enemy. So basically, and it doesn't end there. As long as you keep continuing overcapping your necrotic resistance, then you will gain that damage. Now we are only restricted as far as the blood skills are concerned. It is only restricted with the aspects and the overpowered damage. And the overpowered damage that we have is only wow, that was fast. With regards to the key passive of the blood skills, which is the Ratmas Vigor, it only increases your overpower. Now, it looks like it's big also. Again, this is an increase in overpower damage. Now you divide it by 6. How much? 6, 1, 4. That is approximately 16%. 16% increase in 16% increase in damage per hit. Why am I always keep on saying per hit? Because we have another damage scaler called the critical strike damage, and critical strike damage is going to happen when you crit. It's easier to raise the critical strike chance, therefore whenever that you hit, if you have a good amount of critical strike chance, then that hit is always going to crit, and then that damage is basically will be applied per hit. Overpower is a different mechanic. On season 10, we have a very good build, because besides of the chaos items that we have on that season, we're talking about this bone spirit splinter combo skill, wherein the basic skill are always overpowering, because they're always overpowering when you use that a certain seasonal power. So basically the damage of the overpower is not that much. It's a very small amount of increase in your damage. Now, why minions are powerful compared to these skills? Let's take a look on the example of the Golem. The Golem, if you're not going to use the skeletal warriors, each Golem can have approximately like 60,000 increase in damage. Imagine that's 60,000 and then there's 3 of them. So that's we're talking about 180%, 180,000 increase in damage. And that is per hit. Take note, that is per hit. And then if you have that ring of Menden, they explode. Then they have you still have your critical strike damage, right? What else? Mages. Why mages are also powerful also? We're talking about 12 mages in total at a max, at least, right? 12 mages with the occult dominion. Because when you put the occult dominion in the amulet, you will get 2 more minions, because it increases the minions by 1 to the warrior and the mages. So you will have now additional 1 mage and then additional 1 on the warriors, wherein the warriors will be converted into a mage summon also. So you will have a total of 14. And I managed to increase their damage up to 20,000. And we're talking about 20,000 per hit damage per mages, and there's 12 of them. Now we're talking about 240,000 damage. And I remember back in season 7, before it got nerfed, was it in season 7 or season 8? I think season 8. We can increase our overpower damage by up to, I was able to see, I think 60,000? I think 60,000 overpower damage or 40,000 overpower damage increase. That is huge. And then, again, you have an additional damage based on the difference, based on the amount of base life to your maximum life. What does it mean? Our base life here is how much? Where's our life? Our base life is 400. How many 400 is that on the 12,800? And basically, you deduct that 2, you divide that 12,877 by 400. So that is the amount of 400 in the 12,000, and then that equivalent is equivalent to 1% damage. So how much is that? 400, 4,000, so that's 10, right? So that's 10 times 3, so that's 30%. Am I correct? 400 in 4,000 is 10. 12,000 times 3, so you have 30% increase in damage. And then you have another multiplier. Am I correct? $12,877 divided by 400. Sorry, that is 321. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm correct. Sorry, yeah. 32% damage. And then you have this fortify. And before, we can still increase our maximum life up to 40,000. So that 32 increase in damage, how much is that? Will become triple. And you still have your fortification. It also adds the amount of fortification that you have. Same thing. How much of that 400 based on the amount of fortification that you have. So basically, all in all, you can reach up to like 200% additive damage. And that particular damage will scale by the amount of overpower that you have, which is around, I think, as I have said, you can reach up to 40,000 overpower. So that 300%, approximately 300%, then you scale that again by how much? 40,000. So that is like how much? 400 increase, a multiplier of 400. That is huge. That is why overpowering before was so good. The only problem is, one of the problem is this rune. And there's also another aspect that allows you to overpower. So those other classes that are not designed to do the overpower, now they can take advantage of the overpowering. So they have a very good multiplier on their skill plus their critical strike damage, and now you allow them to do overpowering that will increase their damage. Then that's why now it creates this imbalance between classes. So the last resort, let's change the overpower basically that way, which is the current state now. That is why to be honest, the mechanic of the overpower before was good. You increase your life, you deal more damage, because that's the idea of the overpower. And the developers said that the overpower, the idea behind the overpower is for you to increase your defenses, which is life, to turn it into an offensive power, which is a good mechanic. You're increasing your life, you are almost unkillable because you're increasing your defenses. And then this particular defense is you're now using it as your offensive power. I think somehow they should have changed the Ratmas Vigor to bring back that same mechanic of overpowering based on our life, but only on the Ratmas Vigor. If you get what I mean. Why? Because so that it doesn't affect other classes. If they design if they designed for the overpowering, which is one is the Necromancer, there's also Barbarian, there's also the Druid. I believe the Spiritborn, I don't know if the Spiritborn has its own mechanic to do an overpowering. At least this key passive is allowing us to further increase our damage. So again, right now, the it's very bad. Well, season 12 and the new expansion is coming, so hopefully we can see a I guess an update, some changes on what's going to happen next season, and hopefully we can get this more builds that we can do next season. And I'm looking forward, and basically I like the this Bloodlines is one also of my favorite skills. It's just, as we can see here, it's almost unplayable. You can still play it. Don't get me wrong. You can still play it, but it's difficult. You will find yourself that you are struggling with the DPS, and then you will just ask yourself, why do I have to play this one, wherein there's the Shadowblight, there is the Golem, there's the mages, even the Bone Sprinter. The Bone Sprinter is at least still efficient on AoE damage. It's just it struggles on single target. That's all. And with the new update on the Paragon board of the Bloodbath, now it affected the bone skills to do some overpowered damage as well, unless they're not going to use the Wither board. And somehow, even though with the changes, it's okay. Again, it's okay, but single target. Bloodlands is only good because the more targets that the more monsters that it hits that are lands, the more it calculates, the more multiplier damage based on the land's enemy. But take note, the increase in damage is only going to happen on the primary target. And as of this moment, the blood aspect, the Bloodseeker aspect, the so-called primary target is random. That's why I put a suggestion yesterday that that the primary target of the Bloodseeker's aspect needs to be specific. It needs to target the elites or the bosses, so that it's going to be efficient, so that when you pull the enemies and then if you pull the enemies and then the elites is inside of the pack of the group, so now the primary target is the trash mob in front of the elite. But if they change it wherein, since the Bloodlands can pierce, isn't it? I think it can pierce or not. But at least when you find an opening, and then when you hit now the elite, then it will automatically increase the damage to the elite, not on the first or the so-called primary target that it hits, which is random. 65. Wow, 65. 689. The thing is, you cannot bring this inside. You cannot bring this inside the pit boss. Anyway, this will be my last run for tonight. So on Saturday, I'll be back streaming on Saturday, and I'll be back playing on season 11. So the build that I'm planning to play on Saturday is, and to check, is the Army of the Dead. So we'll see how it goes. And I want to see if based on the new temper and masterworking mechanic this season, if the Army of the Dead is gonna be good. Last season, I think I tried it back in season 9. I think it was okay around pit 80, but it starts to struggle beyond that. So hopefully, let's see. I have already prepared all of the gears and the unique items, so it's just a matter of masterworking and let's see what are the best aspects. Oh, sorry, not aspects. Well, yeah, aspect, but more on the affixes that we need. Especially, we really need to bring the cooldown of the Army of the Dead as low as possible so that we can cast it more frequently. Alright, so yeah, that's it for me today, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Have a good one. Bye.